So tell me, okay, so it's the kids who bind you,
Yes.
and you've basically kept it real for the children.
So, I'm a liquor person, you know what I mean?
Yes, okay, so I've only just met you.
Yeah. I'm gonna take my word
And
for
for
it.
all
It's
of
alright.
30 minutes,
Take my word.
I'm gonna I'm gonna hold on that judgment. But now tell me, so you and your wife, 17 years together.
Mm-hmm.
What I often struggle with is you speak about her in lofty terms, like you speak about her in good terms. So why didn't it work? Could it not work again?
You know what? Only God knows that. I don't know what the future holds, but for now, we okay. I think we struggle to live together. That is a big problem
Okay.
because everybody's different,
Yeah.
and some people are set in their ways, and I think we struggle to live together, and maybe that's one of the bigger reasons why we
Got divorced in the
got
first
divorced
place?
in the first place. Yeah, but like I said, listen, divorces are not pleasant. 99% of the case. We had our differences. Unfortunately, the kids saw some of it, and that's when we both woke up
Okay.
and decided, you know what, before this gets really out of hand and affects our kids really negatively, let's rather move on and just make the best of whatever life holds out there. Yeah.
Okay. And when you and the children now, I mean, tell me about your kids. You've got three.
I have three
I've
dragons.
met one.
Yes, you've met the eldest dragon. That's Tamina, and then I have Daniel, my son, 15 years old.
Yeah.
And then I have Daria, who is now 9 years old. You know what? Amazing, respectful kids, because I'm old school. I still
Okay.
believe in discipline. Ek gryp jou voor die bos if you don't listen, type of thing.
Nice.
Yes, and
Or not.
I mean, you've met my one child, and
Yes.
this is who they are. They know how to act wherever they are. Respect for anybody, from the person on the street to whoever else. They know respect.
And you and your ex-wife have always been in alignment with how you raise them.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
My ex-wife also don't hold back, which I like. But you know what? Our love for our kids are there. You'll see it when they're around us.
Yeah.
So and she's also she's also like a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So besides divorce, doesn't have to be. Divorce is not the end of the world or the end of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, listen here, guys. If you're stressing, and I know a couple of guys are complaining, and there's 10 women to every man in Cape Town. Why?
Sadly,
Why?
that is
Sadly
true.
for you,
For
yeah.
me,
But for
for
us,
me.
it was no lekker mos. That's all right. So, don't be sad. Yeah, just move on, but be nice towards each other. You know what I mean?
Be kind.
Be kind to one another.
Be kind.
Yeah.
But now,
absolutely.
okay, so you get divorced, and now tell me about. So a lot of men are accused of jumping very quickly into the next relationship. So they don't want to wait on. This is just me sharing stories.
Yes.
They don't want to wait on. So the cook isn't there anymore, and the one who cleaned your house isn't there anymore, and the chick in the bedroom is not there anymore, and so you very quickly replace her with another.
Mm-hmm.
So in your instance, I'm assuming you're not yet remarried. How long have you been divorced?
2 years divorced. I'm
2 years
not
divorced.
that guy you just spoke of now.
You're not that guy.
I don't really cook. I don't need all those other things you just mentioned there.
Okay.
I mean, I need it, but I don't jump to the next person because of those reasons.
Good.
People have their personal reasons why they do that. Some men, unfortunately, cannot do without that.
Yeah.
And maybe then they get married for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
And then when you look again a few years later, guess what?
Second
You're back
divorce.
there we go. I see
Second
it
divorce.
all over and over. I see this kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not in that category. I don't can fall for that kind of stuff.
Okay,
No.
I hear you. I hear you. You definitely are a bloody unicorn in this space,
Oei,
because
Jenna.
so many have gone exactly that route.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it. I see it
Yeah.
all the time.
I also see it. Can you maybe hazard a guess as to why? Is it just the discomfort? Like, what else is there?
I think it's mostly the discomfort. These men are so dependent on their previous wives, or they just can't do without someone doing things for them. And listen, yeah, I make a plan. That's who I am. I make a plan. Yeah, you
You
know what I mean.
hustle.
Whatever
I've
I
seen
do.
in your book, you're a hustler
I'm a
from very
hustler.
young.
I'm a hustler. I will sell anything out of my boot if I have to. I'll sell a T-shirt off my back if I have to, which I did, by the way, before.
Yes.
You know, I'm now an author now. Ooh, number 2 in the country, 3
Oh,
weeks
yay.
in.
Oh, yay.
That's a big deal. But there was tough times, you know,
Yeah.
and tough times which also maybe led to maybe a small percentage to part of the divorce. Because a lot of people, you know, they can't handle when times are
The
tough.
stresses.
Yeah, the stresses of that. And I think that was also a big stress. But you know what? You just need, you need to just carry on,
Yeah.
move on, get up and do what you have to
That's
do.
an important point you just raised. Finances is one of the reasons people end up getting divorced.
Yes, I think it's one of the biggest reasons.
It's one of the
that people
bigger
get divorced,
reasons. Yeah. And then parenting also, if you're not quite on the same page with parenting. But it seems to me that the parenting is the one that's bound you to one another.
Definitely. We both on the same page when it comes to our
3
kids.
beautiful kids later, of course.
Mashallah. You know what? They're just not beautiful. I always tell them, you know, when you pray and you say, "Oh God, you have made me beautiful. Now beautify my ways."
My ways, my insides.
That is
I
so
hear you.
important to us. That's more important than outer
Than the
beauty.
outer.
You know what I mean? But like I said, we on the same page where kids are concerned.
Okay.
Divorce has not stopped us from raising our kids properly, and it won't. And I mean, I'm not saying she's moved on, but I mean she's having fun. She's enjoying her life.
How long have you, so you were married for how long? 17 years, you
yes,
said.
yes.
And it's 2 years divorced.
Yes.
So it is still pretty young.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it
you're
is.
not out of divorce for
no,
that
no,
long.
No, not really.
But you're
not
getting it right from the get-go, which
really. From
is
the beginning.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And your families, tell me about your families. Her family, your family. How did they take the news? Like, how are they taking the news?
Well, my ex-wife is Indian, from Azadville. So Azadville's like another country in Johannesburg.
Within Johannesburg.
Yes, so they're very staunch Indians there. So her mother was very happy, I think, because she could now finally marry the doctor that her mother always wanted her, instead of this
Not the
coloured
broke.
klonky.
Yeah.
Yeah, this broke coloured klonky
with the t-shirts in his boots.
Say, from Cape Town. So you know what? No, you know what? My mother, I've got a great mom. My mom just supports whatever I do, and my mother knows I'm level-headed. You know, I won't do something unless it's maybe completely necessary. Like I felt the divorce was necessary, mostly for the sake of the kids.
Okay.
And their
well,
sanity.
because you guys had obviously were tugging
yes,
and the
yes.
children were exposed.
Absolutely. And you know, when you start getting chest pains and head pains, then you know it's time to.
Anxiety, yeah.
You better alive to your kids than dead to your kids or hospital bound. So I decided I'm liking the life part. So I'm gonna stay alive. Yeah.
Yes,
Could
for
be
my
very stressful.
survival.
For my survival.
Let me exit.
That's it. Let me
Okay.
exit. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Can you remember the moment when the two of you decided that this was now what you wanted? To separate?
Yes, I did. I do remember it was, yeah, my mom was actually came from an up, and like I said, we were tugging already for a while.
When you say a
And
while, how long is this while? 6 months,
a
a
year
year.
at least, and a year's long when you're
A
tugging.
year is long.
You know, so I
Just a
tried, we
long
tried,
time.
we went to go see counseling, we went for counseling. Just something wasn't right any longer, you know, but like I said, and then I moved in to go look after my mom with her, so the timing was kind of right. I think it was just meant to be like that, and yeah, I stayed. And we both agreed on that day, it's fine. She said, yeah, no, it's fine, go stay with your mom. And I left nicely. I just left with my clothes on my back and my bag, and yeah, off I went.
And then when did the two of you sit the kids down and have a discussion with them, or?
Yes, we did. We spoke to the kids very nicely, obviously, and explained to them that things are not going to change drastically. The only difference is that they now have 2 houses to go to.
I did the same with my children.
Yes, there we go. So it was for us. It was. We maybe lucky that it wasn't so difficult.
Yeah.
For us, you know, and the kids took to it. And they actually, my daughter said, Dad, I think it's better actually that you
Well,
guys...
they're not exposed to the drama anymore.
Absolutely. I think the kids...
No more tugging.
And kids know exactly what's going on.
do.
So don't be fooled by even a 7-year-old kid that don't know what's going on. And it will affect them.
It absolutely
It will affect
affects them.
I see it all the time with friends of mine who are divorced.
Yeah.
And the
children
kids
are
become someone
anxious
else.
and
Absolutely.
and they
all the
throw
time.
tantrums and they just
You can
they're
see
not
it.
themselves.
It's sad, but it's a reality. So stop thinking about yourselves and think about those kids. You've had most of your life.
Yeah.
I'm not saying your life is done.
No.
But give them a chance.
Give the kids,
give the kids a
children a
chance.
chance at something peaceful, something
Absolutely.
not so tumultuous,
There we go.
full of drama. I don't understand. Look,
I don't do drama.
yeah. So I did a bit of drama, I will admit.
Okay.
Mine is a convoluted story, and I'll reveal that over time. But mostly when it came to the children, it's about them.
Absolutely.
So you don't mess with those kids.
100%.
And I find that often the adults resort to behaving like children, and they just fight and they use these poor kids in the
That's what
middle.
they do. They use these poor kids as pawns.
Yes.
And I absolutely hate it.
So they call that parental alienation, and it obviously is an abusive thing to do, because now mommy's trying to find out information about daddy through the children, or daddy's trying to find out info about mommy through the all of that nonsense. I'm just really grateful the two of you don't indulge in that kind of nonsense.
No, and like you say, it's nonsense.
It
That's
is
all
nonsense. It's
Absolutely.
absolute bullshit. What else? What else about your divorce stands out for you? That is different to... Because I know, look, generally you do stuff differently.
Yeah.
Like you've, even with the authoring of your book, which we will discuss on a different format.
Yeah.
But even that you've done differently. So your divorce, you're pretty much a unicorn in this space. What advice do you have?
You know when your ex-wife tells you you're the best ex-husband anybody could have.
Oh man!
No, I'm serious. I'm not even
Oh,
joking.
man.
She says you're the best ex-husband anybody could have. Then I think you kind of
You're getting
on
it
the high
right.
track kind
Well,
of
that
thing.
needs a fist bump.
There
Well
we
done.
go.
Well
There
done.
we
You're
go.
the best
But
ex-husband
ex-husband that anybody could have
anybody
had.
could have
She
had.
says to me all the time.
Wow.
And but you know what, it doesn't have to be ugly.
No.
We are grown-ups. We are of sane minds.
So would you actively call out other men and say, stop your shit?
Absolutely. I'm a life coach. I've just recently become a life coach.
Okay.
I did a course on life coaching, and this is one of the things that I want to tackle.
Okay.
This is one of a few things that I
So
want to
then
tackle.
I'm gonna set this challenge to you and say you need to come
absolutely.
on board with me and help these men get over themselves.
Absolutely. I would love to. Because you know what?
brilliant.
It won't be difficult for me to help them because I can just
You've
talk them
walked
through
it.
it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I've been there where they've been or where they are still.
Yeah.
And it won't be a difficult thing. Like that book I wrote. It wasn't
Yeah.
a difficult thing because I experienced all of those things. So it was one of the easiest things I've ever done in my life.
Yes.
I'm not saying divorce is easy and not the easiest thing I've ever done in my life, but I choose to make it an easy thing.
And I choose how I want to manage it every single day.
Absolutely, 100%. So I'm going to tackle this issue with men who can come to me or get hold of me,
Yeah.
and we need to talk about it. Some guys need to talk about it.
must be talked
Don't
about.
hold it all back, and then when you see that ex-wife, you explode every time. So
Yeah. Because she knows, being an ex-wife myself, she knows exactly which buttons to push.
oh yeah,
She knows
But
exactly
that's a
what to
woman
say
thing,
to you.
you
No,
know?
we
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
we're very
Only
special
you
like that.
guys can do stuff like that. Guys, no, we don't have that skill.
You're a lot simpler in that way. But we know. We've got a whole bag of tricks. we know exactly which way
I
to.
know. She
to
does
scratch.
it sometimes with me. I can see, but I'm a little bit clever, you know.
But you don't buy it
I'm
anymore.
a bit sharp, yeah. I'm a bit sharp like that. Yeah.
Besides, you've not lived with her for some time, so now you can see it more clearly.
No, absolutely.
Did you find that? Did you find that when you were out of the marriage, obviously your inner peace returned? So no more anxiety, no more
Yeah, no.
panic.
I'm glowing, as you can see again now. Yeah, I'm glowing again.
Okay. Okay, that came back pretty quickly.
Yeah, no. It
No, I've
was-
enjoyed this chat. This is
Thank
awesome.
you. Yeah. Needs to be spoken of. You know?
What else would you like to say? What would you like to say to... Look, I'm a female, so often men, not you, but they shy away from speaking. What advice would you give them that was pertinent to you and your journey?
You know, just don't react. Don't react.
That is massive, though.
That is huge.
See,
Most people
imagine
react.
Look, a divorce is emotional.
Yeah.
Marriage is emotional. Building relationships are emotional.
Yes.
So now you're telling these men, calm the fuck down.
There we go. Don't react.
And don't.
Respond.
Okay.
That is important.